Firstly, thanks for jumping onto the Zoom chat with me, India. Obviously, we've sold your property. It's ready for settlement very, very soon now. And normally we just want to ask, obviously how things have gone, just so anyone that's watching this interaction that you've lovely said that you'll do for us. So you've come to one of my inspections looking to basically buy a property. You said you needed to sell to be able to buy, and
Yeah.
you mentioned that you'd already been through with two other agents through that process and not
Yeah.
really got an outcome. So my understanding is we didn't have to sort of chop your price. Like we've basically gone, let's, update the marketing and change maybe the approach to actually getting your property sold. And now, most importantly, you and Simon are in a spot where you guys are actually about to settle on the house that you're now going to buy because you've been able to sell.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that's awesome.
We're beyond thrilled.
Awesome. Now, one of the questions that I think a lot of people are going to have, because normally when they're considering, working with an agent, they're probably speaking with, two or three agents, and both unfortunately and fortunately, you've been able to, I guess, test drive all three agents in this case. Why
Yeah.
do you think you got the right outcome with us, and maybe you didn't get it with the other agents that you had a crack with?
Well, the other agents, I think they were just interested in getting rid of my property. It didn't feel like they were interested in what it was worth and how to find the people. They weren't interested in looking for people to buy it. They just wanted to post it. And, you know, I wouldn't always get told if someone called up about the house, or I wouldn't get told if someone made an offer, or they took too long to get to me than to tell the other person that I would be interested in the offer. It was really difficult. I had to constantly try to reach out to them and ask them, what do we need to do to get the property sold? And it was many months, many months, like 9 months with the first real estate agent, and it didn't move at all. And then the next agent was another 4 months. And it really disheartened me, and I didn't know what was wrong and why my property wasn't selling. I couldn't figure out. I asked them, and they wouldn't really have answers for me. And then when I caught up with you, you had a lot of answers, and you had a lot of suggestions, and they were very proactive, and they were really about finding a person to buy my property. And I decided right then and there we were getting rid of the agent, the second agent. And even though it cost me a lot of money to go through two agents and then a third, I needed to do it because I really believed that you had a good plan and that you were invested in actually helping me sell my property.
And then, so obviously, like when you find the right buyer, like different buyers are going to have different conditions in terms of like how long do they settle. They might, be in the same case as you where they need to sell in order to buy. But in terms of, we didn't need to chop the price. How do you feel about the price you eventually got when you sold with us? And also like how long it took to find that buyer. Like you mentioned you had, 9 months on market with one agent, another 4 months with another agent. We had a contract in place in 12 days. So how do you feel about the time to find the right buyer and also the
Well,
price you got?
it's shocking what an actually good agent how it makes a difference. An agent that actually knows what they're doing and has a plan and enacts that plan. Like I was beyond surprised and shocked. I couldn't believe that you actually found a buyer for my property within 2 weeks. Also, the price that we believed the property was worth. I didn't have to compromise. I didn't have to go low. It just went beautifully, and it took a lot of faith on my part because it was scary to start again, but it was well placed.
And so, like, one of the things I think is really important is, so we've gone to a lot of effort to automate, our updates for our sellers. So that way, when people are inquiring, when, offers come through, they're happening straight away. You're getting to see it before. In a lot of cases, I've even had a chance to speak to the broker or lender to actually know if the offer's legitimate. How did that go for you and Simon? Did that help in the process of going, yes, we should be moving forward on this offer? And we're confident the agent's working for us?
Yes, I do believe that you showed us an offer that was viable and very well presented. And we had confidence going forward that this buyer was serious and that we would sell our property. And the communication between us was very good. I mean, every time, and I was annoying, but every time I needed to ask you questions or I was getting a bit nervous or I wanted to know more, you would just take my call, and I was very grateful for that.
I'm glad. I enjoyed our calls. We have had a lot, but again, as you said, like you've had such an average experience over the first 2 times, it's only understandable that you're going to be nervous through that process. So I get that.
Well, the other agents wanted to cut it by half. The amount that you got me, they wanted to cut it by half, put it on the market
and
for that.
It doesn't matter how much your house or your land or your property is selling for, like if you halve it, that's substantial money. And like that, that every dollar we can get through that process is just making that next purchase easier for you guys. So,
well, they didn't see that my property was actually worth that. And you did see that my property was worth that. And it made a great deal of difference in our confidence in us building up a support system.
Awesome. So I guess all in all, like, I would like to think that we're going to work together for as long as you guys ever need a real estate agent. But if someone was debating between, myself or another agent, what would you say to them?
I would say don't even question it with you. Just go directly to you.
Perfect. Well, look, I appreciate you taking time out of your morning to have this chat with me and help possibly someone else that's looking at selling the house. And if there's ever anything I can do, I'm always here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
I'm very
India.
grateful for all the effort you put in to help us.
Thanks, India. Well, you guys have a lovely morning, and I look forward to seeing photos of you and Simon's new place once you guys are all set up.
I know. Soon.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.